What's up, guys? It's Rick with Flip with Rick coming at you live today, and we are going to have a lot of fun today. So, the title of today's live stream is the Ultimate Title Company Guide. And if you guys haven't checked it out, I did a video on how to manage your title companies. Actually, I forget the name. I'll put the link in it somewhere at some point. But you can just go to the Flip with Rick channel and just punch in their title companies. I believe it's the investor guide. And I go into grave detail, the questions to ask them, how to manage them, how to interview them, what you're looking for, what you're not looking for. And that is a great teaching tool. So go ahead and refer to that. Today, I'm going to get into title companies because I got 20 years experience dealing with every type of title company in a lot of states across the country, a lot in Florida, of course. And I'm going to walk you through the basics, the beginners, the mechanics of a title company, their purpose, why we use them, how you use them, the fees you should expect on a title company, and how to break them down and how to use them for your wholesaling business. Because, guys, we're special what we do here. Being a wholesaler, we are a unique crowd. We are like one in a million, and most people aren't used to what we do in wholesaling. So if you walk into a title company, a lot of them are like, I don't understand what you do. And those are the ones that we're not going to talk about today. So I'm going to teach you from square one. If you've never dealt with a title company, this is the video for you. And I'm going to take a little bit more time and walk through the instructional part. And then we're going to do a live Q&A. I'm going to go longer than an hour. So be patient. Put your questions in the comments here. And I promise you, I will get to each and every one of them. So if you guys are new to the channel, I want to reintroduce myself. I'm Rick, also known as Dad. My son is Zach. He started out wholesaling when he was 17 while he was in high school. Taught him how to make $100K in under 90 days. And I can teach you the exact same way. I actually have a real passion for wholesaling. I love it. I've been doing it. I'm going on 20 years now in this year. And we have a unique approach to Flip with Rick. And what we do is we teach you this business for absolutely 100% free. Actually, I know for a fact we are the only people out there that promote this platform, and you guys love it. And so people always ask me, hey, Rick, how can we help you out? How can we do that? So here's what I need you to do. I need you to click the subscribe button and go ahead and smash that like button right now. And by doing these two things, you help promote our channel. More people get exposed to us. And my goal is to educate as many people possible that want to do wholesaling, that want to do this unique business, to free themselves financially, to free their time to spend it with their family and their friends and take absolute control of their life. That's what I did 20 years ago, and I can teach you how to do it. There's no more secrets. You should not be paying to learn wholesaling. Let me repeat this. You should not pay to learn wholesaling. There's no more secrets, guys. The same strategies that all these gurus are employing was the exact same stuff when I started out in 2002, 2003. And there's no reason. These are tired old business models. Pay me $5,000, pay me $10,000. I'll teach you wholesaling. Tell you what, go to freewholesaling.com. I'll put it up here. And we have an entire course laid out for you. 20 years of my knowledge, all Zach's experience. You guys love working with Zach. So you kind of get the dad and my son's teaching abilities, which in my opinion is kind of the best of the both worlds. And we do this business every day. We are actively flipping deals every day. And we do everything. We do wholesaling. Wholesaling is the fundamentals of learning real estate investing. And from wholesaling, you can do creative financing deals. You can do fix and flips. You can be a landlord. You can do whatever you want to do. But I always think everybody should start out wholesaling. Why not do it here? Go to freewholesaling.com. It's 100% free. You'll never put in a credit card. I don't have an upcharge for you. I guarantee you that. And if you don't believe me, just go in these comments, listen to people's feedback on the testimonials they're doing. I've never asked people for testimonials. They just give it to us. And I want you to experience the same thing. The world has changed. We are connecting on an amazing piece of technology, and you need to take advantage of it. So, guys, before we get into it, you know the deal. You've got to have an energy level, and you got to find a way to match it every day. And this is crazy. We are in 2022. I'm approaching the 20-year mark, and I still act like a kid in a candy store when I talk about wholesaling. I love it. I'm not a guy who, listen, I love the financial rewards of it, but I do it to strive for a mission, which is to do what I want in life and have my true self come out. And I'm on a huge movement for authenticity, having fun, and having a blast in wholesaling. And a lot of people are turning this to a money grab with coaching and stuff like that. We're going to solve all that. Everything you get here is absolutely for free. We show you tools we use in your business. You make your decisions. As you guys know, I'm not married to any vendor or anything. I don't take a dime from anyone. And for that reason, you're always going to get the truth here. But before I get started, you got to bring an energy level up. So I'm going to give you a little bit of teaching, and then I'm going to wake you back up, and we're going to do a Q&A. So put in your comments. The sooner the better. We talk about title companies, and we can talk about anything. We can talk about PropStream. We can talk about batch leads. We can talk about everything's becoming illegal in wholesaling, which is not. It's a fear campaign. And you guys know how fear campaigns work. They try to scare the heck out of you. And I'm here to give you the facts and the truth about wholesaling. So I need energy. I need excitement. We need to have fun. You guys got to bring the energy. Let's do it. Put your comments in. Let's go.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, again, they got go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
Guys, dude, I love that video. I love people that bring an energy level that is unmatched. You got to have fun when you do stuff. And I see all these people like make it so mechanical. I like to have fun, and I like to be authentic and true. I've taught Zach this philosophy, and hopefully it comes through with you. People are tired of the fake, the showy cars, the flashy stuff. Guys, a nice car, a nice house does not dictate someone's success. It actually shows what's important to them versus an asset and a liability. So I'm always going to share with you content. I do not want to show you like I just drive a regular car because I don't waste money investing in things that don't pay me. So we all have to live a life. I want you to buy like really nice things. Let's use wholesaling. So let's dive into it. Let's talk about title companies. If you guys think it like this is not like your key, then just stick around for the comments and questions, but you might learn something here. I've learned a lot of tips and tricks, a lot of do's and don'ts with title companies. And I find when people get started in this business, they struggle with the title company, and I'm here to solve it. If you guys want more advanced strategies, I already have a video out there, and I want you to just look it up on the Flip with Rick YouTube channel. It's titled, I believe it's titled, I forget. It's title companies. Just put it in there. It'll come up. Zach's done one recently too, and we're constantly updating it and getting it going from there. So let's talk about it. Title companies. My God, where do I start with this one? Let me pull up. So I try to put this stuff on here. So the first thing you have to ask yourself, what is the purpose of a title company? What is the purpose of a title company? Guys, a title company, simply put, I don't matter what state you're in. You can be in all 48 states, 50 states, doesn't matter. The purpose of a title company is to facilitate a legal, binding real estate transaction as a third party. So I want you to understand the key phrase there is a third party. So you're going to have a seller and you're going to have a buyer. The title company is the person in between, kind of like the mediator, a little bit, we kind of call them the referee, but the reality is that's what a title company is. Now, there's a lot of nuances in between, and I'm here to kind of go in grave detail into it because a lot of title companies will run you over with their fees and their costs of stuff. It's important you understand a simple transaction on a cash deal. So we're going to mostly talk about cash deals. I'm going to elaborate a little bit on finance deals for when you guys are wholesaling or doing anything like that. And we are going to run through it. So you guys understand the purpose of a title company. The reality is it's supposed to protect the buyer and seller, but here's a little secret, okay? It's like, have you ever seen a football game and people complain about the refs from a different league doing this? Same thing happens with title companies. There's always some sort of bias. And I know people don't want to hear it, but it's the truth. The bias comes into who hired the title company. And that's where I want you to understand, as a wholesaler, it is your prerogative, it is your mission, it is your duty to pick the title company because you've already vetted them out, you've already figured out what the fees are, and you know what their process is. The minute the seller or the buyer dictates the title company and you're doing a wholesaling deal, you are now going on the visitor's court. And 9 times out of 10, this is where all your problems stem from. So let's back up. If you're just starting out wholesaling now, this is the video for you so you can learn how to find a title company that will transact on your wholesaling business. It's really important you understand that. So before we get into this, you have to understand there's 2 types of title companies, and they are dictated by state laws. So I'm not getting into politics here because this is a constantly evolving statute in states. Some states feel like they need to protect all real estate transactions by enforcing an attorney being involved. And I guess it's right to a point, but to me, attorneys tend to mud things up, and I'm not going to get into it. But there's 2 types of states. There's ones that require an attorney, and then there's ones that don't require an attorney. You need to clearly know which state you are in and if you're an attorney-appointed title company state or not. Now, not to cause more confusion for you, but there's some states that are in between. The law's gray, and you can do either or. So some states, it's flat out illegal to do a closing without an attorney fee. And how they regulate that is they won't let anyone get paid but the attorney. So everybody kind of keeps their hands out of it. So if you're wondering, like, is my state one of these types of states? Here you go. Okay. Now, this is according to my latest information. I am not an attorney. I'm not here to give you legal advice, and I'm definitely not giving you accounting or finance advice. So verify this information if you're up in there. Obviously, everybody knows the states I have appointed up there. Kind of shocked California's not up there. If someone's got a comment about California, let me know. And as you guys put your comments in, I promise you I will address them. So we'll go 2 hours today and we'll figure this out. So I'm in the state of Florida. We don't require attorneys here, but I will tell you most of the title companies I deal with are owned by an attorney, or they have an attorney associated with their business, either on retainer or like whatever they need. So once you know the difference is, going into this, I'm going to tell you right now, if you are an attorney required state, you're going to pay a little bit more for closings. Attorneys don't do stuff for free. So an average attorney gets, I don't know, with inflation now, it's probably up to $500 an hour, but a minimum of $350 to $600 is the fluctuating rate, depending on how big of a problem you got. But so if they got to put a couple hours into it, it's probably going to add $600 to $800 to your closing fee. So let's start out there. So guys, find out which state you're in. If you got a comment on the title company, put it in the comments and we'll definitely address it, because this is the part where we can really address questions. Now, I don't know every state. I've probably done I've probably done closings in about a dozen states. So I love to learn more information on what's going on with it. So that's it. So the next thing you need to understand is the primary product a title company is selling you. It's not, I'm going to organize all these fees and do all the paperwork. That's what they do. So in essence, a title company is they collect documents from the buyer and the seller. They get mortgage payoff informations. They run the title. And when you hear the word run the title, I want you to understand what that means. So simply what they do in layman's terms is they go in the clerk of court and they run a search record on that property. Now, what will happen is everybody whose transaction or recorded on that property will show up on the search. Guys, you have the ability to do this. We look at them all the time because when someone tells me, well, I'm not sure, I might have a lien or something like that, a lot of times we'll go in there and look at it real quick. It's public record. And the idea of this is to bring anything that's a potential problem associated with the property, like a debt that's incurred, a lien on the property, anything like that. All the title company does is bring it all up. And then here's what they do, guys. Okay. Here's where they really make their money. You guys think they make their money on their fees? Most of their fees are to cover the overhead of running a brick and mortar office. So they don't make a ton of money on the fees. Some do. Here's where it works. Title insurance. They are in the business of selling you title insurance. Okay. What is a title insurance? Why do we need it? How does it help me? And what does it cost? So let's walk through it. And I would love to hear anybody's feedback on title insurance. I've had a lot of experience with title insurance. I've bought properties with defective titles. I know firsthand what happens in this. And it's not exactly what you think it is. So here's what it is. If you pay $100,000 for a property, you put up your money. I don't even care if you get a mortgage or whatever it is. The idea of the title insurance is they have the title agent pull the title report, and then they get what they call a title commitment. And so I'm not a title person. I'm not an attorney. So what happens is they review everything and then they come back and they say, fix this, pay this off. The taxes have to be paid. And the idea is they're trying to give you what they call clear title. Clear title means you're going to buy a property without somebody coming back and suing you for it. So you buy a property for $100,000, you get $100,000 in title insurance. Flat out, it's that simple. Once you get the $100,000 in title insurance, if a claim comes up while you own that property and you do not change the deed, by the way, if you do a quick claim, if you move it to another company, the title insurance is null and void. You actually have to buy it again. So you guys that live in like the Northeast with properties like 100 plus years old, title insurance can be very complicated. It can take weeks to pull up the search. It has to go through the chain of event that makes sure every deed satisfied, every mortgage has been closed, and it gets complicated. Newer properties, pretty straightforward. As long as they're legally binding and the taxes are paid, it's pretty straightforward. So the older a property gets, the more complicated title insurance comes. So the purpose is if somebody comes back and like an ex-husband goes, well, she sold the property without my knowing, I'm suing for that property back, the title insurance steps in. Title insurance steps in, basically, they try, I can tell you right now, 9 times out of 10, they try to settle the claim as fast as they humanly possibly can, because the other way, if they don't settle, they have to go to court and fight it out in court. Court costs are very expensive. Attorneys are very expensive. So they're in the business of settling. 9 times out of 10, they do not want to issue a title policy on a problem property. You have to solve them. So 9 times out of 10, you never have an issue with title. You do enough transactions, eventually something always comes up. Now, I've had old water bills pop up. Sometimes in your town, the utility companies can actually record a lien against the property if the seller leaves an outstanding balance. Property tax records. There's so many things that can be associated to the property. Remember, it's all based on public record. Okay. The reason for title insurance is to give faith. It's more about the seller than the buyer, to make sure that they are not going to get financially hurt doing the deal. So let's say somebody comes out of the woodwork and goes, no, I own that property. And they show up with an attorney and they want to sue for the rights to the title of that property. Either they settle or you go to court. The idea is the title company is they'll basically take their lawyers and fight the case for you. Now, I'm here to tell you, these lawyers are looking out for the interest of the insurance company. So if you've ever dealt with a claim, auto is notorious for this, is the insurance companies actually look out for them before they look out for you. There's no difference here. So I went through a 3-year legal battle on a property I paid cash for as a rental, and it took me 3 years to clear the title. And somebody committed fraud. It's a long story, but I actually had to hire an attorney because I was so frustrated with the results. And I paid for this title policy. It is what it is. Most of the time it'll cover you, but every now and then, like these title companies, you got to pay attention, because remember, it's an insurance company, guys. They are selling insurance. So if you pay $1,000 for a title policy, the title company usually gets around half that money as a premium fee. Okay. Everybody understand that? That's where the money is. They want to write title insurance. They don't want to do quick claim deeds for you. There's a bunch of stuff they'll do in between to make sure the transaction goes. But when it comes down to it, if you aren't getting title insurance through a title company, they're not going to do business with you. I need to understand that. Now, every property I buy and sell, I get title insurance because it ensures the transaction goes through and nobody gets hurt. And I'm fine with that. It also protects the seller to make sure the mortgage gets satisfied. They're clear and free of any debt on the property, and the deed's signed over officially. So there is a cost for it. I'm telling you right now, guys, you need to pick your title company. You need to know all this stuff. So title insurance is the business. They sell insurance. There's only 2 or 3 primary insurance companies. I'm not going to, Old Republic's the biggest one. There's 2 or 3 other smaller ones. And they basically have an underwriter, and they communicate to these title companies on what needs to be satisfied before they issue title. They give what's called a title commitment, and usually your title agent will go over. They'll say, "Hey, Rick, there's a $2,500 water bill. Do you want to pay it?" And then we kind of work it out from there. Now, I read the title commitment because I want to know, like, for sure. You can request a title commitment from your title company. I'm going to be honest with you, it's your first time. It'll look very foreign. It'll look legal, but it will tell you about any outstanding issues. Okay. If there's any code violations, guys, we deal with code violations a lot. It's going to pop up on this report. They're going to tell you to satisfy it and figure it out from there. So title insurance is their big money maker. It's not the only one, but it's the biggest one. And if a title comes back with some sort of claim, that title insurance actually gets a knock on their reputation with it. Meaning they, instead of getting, say, 50 or 55% premium, if they get a claim and it's a problem, then the insurance company will penalize them. How do they penalize them? They'll lower their commissions. They'll knock them down to 40%, 45%. And if they get a lot of claims, the insurance company like Old Republic say, listen, we're not going to do business with you anymore. And keep in mind, Old Republic and even state auditors, depending on what state you're in, they'll come in and audit these title companies. So, by the way, yes, there are shady title companies out there. You got to avoid them like the plague, because they will get you in trouble in the long run. So the cost of title insurance, like one of the biggest things I need, I'm going to figure out how to share my screen. I am technology illiterate, not illiterate to a point, but I got to figure out how to put this on the screen. I'm going to share a little tool with you that you guys can use, because I get a lot of questions on how to do this. So I think it's Chrome tab. So remember, I told you that this is the biggest title company, Old Republic. They have on here a rate calculator. So just pick your state. So say if you're in Nevada, see if it comes up here. Well, Nevada's not working there. Let's see if it's working. Let's try Florida. Okay. So don't worry about the boxes on there. So say you're buying a house for $100,000. Doesn't matter what the loan amount is. You can put it the same amount, or you can put in zeros. Calculate, and that will tell you what they collect on that. So the total policy is $710,000, and basically it kind of breaks down what kind of fees they get on it. So the premium is, the title company gets this $682. Pretty attractive. That's why they want to do 40 or 50 closings a month, because that's all money in the bank for them, as long as they don't have claims with it. So guys, you can use this oldrepublictitle.com rate calculator. I'm going to see if I can copy and paste and put it in the notes for you. and you can use this. So if everyone's, hey, and by the way, the title, let me get back here. Okay. Let me know that you guys, hopefully you can see me here. Okay. So I'm going to put in the comments. I put that calculator in the comments. Hopefully you guys can see it, but I don't know why it's still spinning. We'll figure it out. Okay. It's in there. It's under my son's name, but that's fine. I didn't change the ID on it. So use that to figure out what your title insurance is. And let's see. Let's go back to. Okay. So here's another key phrase you guys got to understand. A lot of times we do what we call double closing. So I'm going to go into it a little bit further down this section. Remember, guys, I'm going 2 hours, so you have time. I will answer your questions, I promise, because that's the best part. Let's face it. You get tired of me like just running out my mouth here. When you buy a property, say you buy it for cash and you want a wholesaler to do something like that, you actually have to buy this stuff all over again. That's right. And there's a little clause in every state that, and Old Republic knows this, all the title companies, and the title companies are supposed to disclose it to you. You get what they call a title insurance reissue credit. Now, I found this out after for years, I paid the full price. If I buy a property for cash, and then say I turn around and sell it quickly, it's usually I believe it's within 1 year. If you transact on that property, you basically get a 50% discount. I've got it as high as 65%. So it's based on the original purchase price. So if I buy the property for $100,000 and I resell it for $150,000, that $100,000, which we just paid, what, $710, I get a rate of $350 for it, and then I pay the premium for the $50,000. Okay. I know it's a little bit confusing, but man, does it add up when you do this? So if any of you have to transact on property and actually buy it, which is not an assignment, which I don't endorse doing at the beginning, ask for a reissue credit, because I find a lot of these title companies just hide it from you and they make huge money when you do this. And I'm going to teach you how to avoid it. So if you're buying a property and you got to resell it, you're doing like a wholesale deal, please make sure you get a title reissue credit. Ask them for it, because by law, they have to provide it for you. If you don't ask, a lot of times they'll shove a document in there and say, we offered you a reissue credit, you declined it, and you sign it. So a lot of times that'll save you $500-$600 on a wholesale deal, just so you know it. So let's see. The next part, my favorite, settlement fees. Oh my God. Now, all this stuff is what they call is on a HUD-1 statement. And that's basically the closing documents from the title company. I thought about showing you guys one, but it probably just confuse you even more, because there's like so many different variations. A lot of the old school ones, you need a microscope to like zoom in, because it's so they're so tiny. When you do cash deals, they should be very, very simple HUD statements, because the biggest part of a HUD is all the junk that a bank puts on there to get a mortgage done. And if you guys ever seen it, it's unbelievable. I see why they issue these loans, because they make a crap load of money. Like it's to me, it's insane. I'm in the wrong business sometimes when I think of it. Settlement fees are basically the fees that the title company collects. Okay. So this is an extra stream of income for them. Some of them are cost, and go from there. So the biggest settlement fee, let's go through them in order. Number one, the closing fee. Guys, this is 100% completely negotiable. Okay. I've seen closing fees in my state, because I see a lot of HUDs in Florida. I've seen them as high as $2,500 and as cheap as $200. Why is there such a difference? I'm going to be honest with you. Title companies know how to take money from you, and they know it well. If you don't ask what the fees are before you do a closing with them, you ever have them just shove you a HUD and they email it to you like a day or two before, you're stuck. They'll tell you, I can't change it. I'm sorry. Maybe on the next one, Rick, I'll hook it up. No, guys, when you meet with your title companies, like I teach you in the previous title company training video on quality questions, ask them what their fees are up front, and that's what you do expect to pay. A closing fee over $1,000, on a non-attorney state, I'm usually running for the hills. It drives me nuts. It's a junk fee, guys. It's a fee for, like, listen, I know they have employees, they have overhead, but like, it's got to be reasonable. Okay. The other one in there is attorney fees. If you're in an attorney appointed state, it's going to be in there, understanding you're going to pay more. Now, if you're in a non-attorney state, unless you brought an attorney to the title company, do not pay that fee. I see it all the time on title. Well, the attorney had to review it. I didn't hire an attorney. Did you hire an attorney? I'm not paying for the attorney. You should only pay for attorneys of states where they require you to have an attorney, and the attorney is typically for the title company. Or if you're bringing an attorney, maybe you got a problem going on, you pay your attorney. Okay. You never pay for the other party's attorney. It makes no sense. Okay. You can have an instance where the title company has an attorney. It's an attorney appointed state. The seller has an attorney and the buyer has an attorney. You're going to have to share in the cost of the one for the title company, but don't ever pay the other party's title company. It's absolutely nuts. We've already talked about title insurance, notary fees. Guys, understanding almost every employee in a title company is a notary. You should never pay a notary fee if you physically go and do a closing. How much do they charge for a notary? I've seen it as low as $50 and as high as $350. Notary fees should only be applied when you have to do a mobile closing or they do a mail away. And by the way, they'll hire a mobile notary. They pay the mobile notary $50 to $75, and then they charge you $250. Ask them for a copy of the fee if you want to do it. I'm not sitting here chasing it down, but a typical notary fee, you should never pay more than like $100 for a mobile notary. Because that's the most they're paying them. They just want to make money on it. I get it. They're a business. But if you ask for these fees up front, you'll avoid a lot of these confrontations. So another great fee that I love, it's a title search fee. It's a garbage fee. They have to pull the title to get the title insurance so they can give it to the underwriter. They got to pull it regardless. It's just another junk fee that's put in there. So I want you to understand these fees are different than title insurance, and these are the most negotiable fees you have on the HUD. You guys got to ask questions, get a copy of the fees. A lot of times they go, well, the fees vary based on the closing. Well, give me a range. If you go into a title company and you work your butt off and you use the training me and Zach teach you here at Flip with Rick, and you get a smoking hot motivated seller and you just hand it to the title company and you didn't ask about the fees, they're going to take advantage of you. Not all title companies are like this, but I see it all the time. So get the fees up front in writing. Settlement fees are your biggest negotiating point. Okay. The next one, recording fees. Now, guys, this is not the title company's fault. I'm going to just you cannot complain to your title company about the cost of recording fees. Okay. These are the fees that your state, your county charges to record a binding legal real estate transaction. I lost my mind there for a minute. So so they have different terminology. I'm not going to go through all the terminology, but to record anything in the clerk of courts, they typically charge you a fee per page. Okay. That's called a recording fee. I didn't put that in there, but it is what it is. The next one is to record, to validate the transaction. You pay what they call a we call it a documentary stamps. Why they call it a stamps is beyond me. I guess they used to put a stamp on the document, and you pay a fee per 1,000. Okay. So I know to the penny what it cost me in the state of Florida to record anything. And guys, these fees can get expensive. So on a $150,000 house in Florida, the doc stamps are right around $700 or $800. And so imagine 300,000, that's 20. So this stuff adds up. So it's based on a set fee in your state. And you can look this all up in your state statutes. You can Google it. Your title company should share it with you. It's just a math problem. By the way, you can put all this stuff into an Excel spreadsheet. And if you guys want to know what the cost of your closing is, you can pretty much nail it very, very close. So doc stamp's a big part of it. The other one is the property tax proration. So let's just say a tax bill for simplicity purposes is $1,200 a year on a property. Okay. All states that I'm aware of have some sort of property tax, some more, some less. If you're in a high tourist area, say like the Keys or something like that, the property tax is very low because they pass it off to all us idiots that go down there and spend the money on the hotels and stuff like that. So if you're in a regular state, you're going to pay a little bit more in taxes. And it's crazy how you go from one county to the other, the difference in cost and taxes. So the property taxes on it, if it was $1,200, that means you pay $100 per month. So if I'm closing on a property, say in June, okay, that's 6 months into it. I'm going to get a $600 credit because that tax bill is not due towards the end of the year, November, December. So that's what they mean by property tax prorations. One gets a credit, one gets a debit, because the seller's not going to be around towards the end of the year when the tax bill comes. So I need to get a $600 credit on the HUD. That's simply how it works. The only time it gets really squirrely is around November, December, depending on what state you're in. It's a little messy because did they pay the tax bill? They did not pay the tax bill. And that's the only time it gets a little confusing with title companies. So sit down, spend some time with them. Towards the end of the year, this property tax proration, it looks weird because now you have a whole nother tax bill and another year's coming up. Any other time before that, from basically October before, it's really straightforward. You got a $1,200 tax bill every month. And by the way, they prorate it down to the day you close. So when people drag out closings and say, what's the big deal? There's a cost to it. There's a cost of the money. There's a cost to all the fees, utilities, and everything else. So doc stamps, property tax prorations, and then recording fees. These are all fees. The title company is not allowed to make money on them. So it's black and white. And if you complain about these, you're literally going to waste your time. So you don't want to. And by the way, all this stuff's on the HUD, guys. So let's talk about the fun part. Okay. Let's talk about hidden title companies' fees. This is the little trick and tips I've learned over the years. Title companies will hide fees on you. Like it wasn't enough with the settlement fees. They'll have another section. It's usually called additional fees. And this is where they hide stuff in you. So a lot of times if you're getting a cheap settlement fee, they'll come down here and hammer you on this side. Understanding, add all the fees together, and that's what you're paying the title company on top of the title insurance. So it's critical you understand that, because in my perfect world, just tell me it's $1,500 to close, and then these are the recording fees, and I'll move on with my life. But oh, no. We got to make it complicated, because the average person does not close on real estate on a weekly, daily, or monthly basis. And title companies take advantage of this. It's just the truth. Face it, when you bought your own house and you lived in it 7 years and you sold it later, you don't, I'm not going to say the word, I get in trouble. You don't give a crap about these fees, but you're a wholesaler. So guess what? You got to care about these fees because they're popping up on a weekly, monthly. You could do 40 or 50 closings a year. Okay. I want to save you on your first one. So the first one is wire fees. You guys know what a typical wire cost? A bank will never charge you more than $35 to $40 to do a wire. So I want you to understand, when you wire, I like it because like if the closing happens at noon, I usually have a wire before the end of the day. Okay. End of story. You know, it's done. There's no check in the mail. There's none of that stuff that goes on. Now, I've seen wiring fees. I'm looking at a HUD right here, $150 wire fee. You got to be kidding me. All you do is push a button on the computer. I'm not paying $150 wire fee. The most I'll pay for a wire fee is $50. I know the banks are charging $35. They're making $15 on it. Make a few bucks on me. I'm not paying it, because what you have to understand when you do a wire in your account, not only do you pay this on the HUD, your bank's going to charge you an incoming wire fee. It's usually around $20, $30. It's ridiculous. Like, so people who complain about picking up a check, I don't know about you, but I'm okay putting $50, $60, $75 in my pocket. Give me a check. I've never had a bad check from a title company. Okay. The only drawback of the check is you got to wait till it clears. And I'm not, if you don't need the money right away, take the check, guys. It's not a big deal. It's especially if you have an established account. So people are like, oh, who does checks anymore? I tell you what, if I did 100 closings in a year and I saved $75 by getting checks, you do the math. It's a nice little side income. Now, I don't do it on every one of them. I don't get a check so I can show you on the screen. Those days are over with me. I did that a long time ago, but there's still instances where I take checks. It's just, who cares? If I'm going to save $100, I'll take a check, take a day or two to clear. Who cares? And the title company they can't charge you for the check. I don't know if there's a law against it, but I've never been charged for a check. A wire fee, negotiate a wire fee. It shouldn't be more than $50 because the highest bank fee I see is $35, $40. I'll pay $50. I'm not paying more than that. The next one, courier fees. It's not my problem who you use for a courier. Unless you're doing a mobile closing, do not pay a courier fee. They'll charge you a fee to take those docs and physically bring it to the courthouse to record it. The reality is most of them are doing it electronically, and that's not your problem, okay? You want to charge me a $10 recording fee, knock yourself out, do it in the recording section, don't do it here. Last but not least, one of my favorites, utility lien search fees. And basically they contact the, so it depends on what state you're in, what city, what county. But any type of utility that has the ability to put a lien on your property, they pay a third-party company to run a search. Now, I know for a dirty little secret, 9 times out of 10, the title company just does it themselves. How do they do it? They send an email, they send a fax, as shocking as that sounds, and they try to get an estimated payoff for this would be water. If it's a small power company, they usually have the ability to put a lien on the property, sewer, garbage, anything like that. I've seen this fee as high as $500, which is shocking to me. Okay. The fee basically involves an employee picking up a phone and then having an email sent back to them, a fax, whatever it is. And this is ridiculous because to me, that should be part of the title search. Now, if you're going to pay a lien search, usually $100 is about the most I'll pay, maybe $125. Ask for a report. You'll be shocked how many of them don't actually give you a report. If you don't get a report, don't pay for the dang fee, period. If you did a utility lien search, there should be an official email or report. So I have something on record to make me feel better as the buyer. End of story. Okay, guys, utility lien search. If you add up wire fees, courier fees, utility lien search fees, you could pay an extra $1,000 on a closing. Guys, this is the area of fluff. And if you know it up front, and once your title company knows that you know this fluff factor, they'll just stop doing it. I promise you. Okay. Now, that's the basics to a title company. Replay this thing 100 times. I'm telling you, this is the mechanics. You need to understand this. So many investors, so many gurus talk above the title company. Most people don't understand what the purpose is. Guys, I'm telling you, title company, it's basic, but you need to understand how they hide these fees. The funny thing is, if I go to Florida or I go to Georgia or I go to California, all the HUDs look different. And it's supposed to be a standardized thing. Now, if you guys are selling to someone who's getting a mortgage, it's going to blow your mind the amount of fees they're going to put on that side. It's, I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in just BS fees. I'll tell you that right there. So when you have someone's getting financing, they are required by law to give a disclosure of the HUD it's either 3 or 2 days, depending on what state you're in, to review the HUD. So you get full disclosure. I find on cash transactions, there's no laws for it, and they'll stick it to you at the last minute. You tell them you want the HUD 48 hours in advance, no exceptions. You don't give me that HUD 48 hours in advance, I'm going to hammer you on the closing fees. And that's how I do it. You stick me a HUD at 10 a.m. in the morning and I'm closing at noon, I'm going to negotiate the heck out of those fees because I know what's going on here. Either you guys are running so far behind and you're not paying attention to the files, or you're trying to slip fees in me, or I usually find out it's a combination of both. Now, not every title company is bad. It always comes down to who owned the title company, and the employees do what they're told. So please don't go out and shoo out every title company. I've seen so many gurus go, let me show you how to train your title people. Guys, they're not dogs. Like, they're people. They have jobs. They have families they have to supply for. You're going to kill them with kindness a lot better than you are screaming and like sending nasty emails. You're not going to get it. They don't own the company. They're just doing what they're told. Yes, employees get lazy. Yes, employees make excuses. I just can't stand when a title company cannot like communicate to me and they hide. So my rule is find a title company that you can get the personal cell phone of the title agent and have one person do all your closings. You have one person, you won't get the flipping around. You'll understand how it works. They understand you, and life is a lot easier. So I didn't put it up here. I should go over escrow. So escrow is just a fancy word for a bank account that's owned by the title company, and they escrow means they have a fiduciary responsibility to make sure all procedures, laws, and fairness is on the money. So escrow means it's in a neutral account. Once it's put there, the buyer doesn't own it, the seller doesn't own it. They just have rights to it. And if there's any type of, the idea is that money is supposed to go towards the closing for usually the down payment. And then if there's ever an argument, the escrow agents, if they can't work it out in mediation, they send that money to your state, and then you guys get to fight it out in court. So escrow money, just so you know, title companies don't benefit from it. Actually, they get hammered on it. They have to do auditing reports, a lot of accounting. It's a huge liability. Some title companies don't even have escrow accounts. That's where you'll find like brokerages have escrow accounts. So another word used that everybody tries to like blow you away with is EMD. EMD means earnest money deposit, which is basically money that goes into escrow. I don't know why they just don't say deposit. It's so simple. So I love when people talk above you in title companies. This live stream alone will give you enough tools to manage any title company, period. So guys, once again, I have a previous video I've done on how to ask the right questions to vet your title companies. Go into that one because I don't want to spend like an hour. I want to get to like the live chat and have fun and help you guys solve problems. So the last one I get all the time is, what is a double closing? Okay. Is it illegal? Is it great? Guys, a double closing is a legal way to take down a property that you cannot do an assignment on. Okay. Let me give you an example. I have a closing and my buyer is kind of a pain in my butt, and say there's a tenant in the property and I got to get the tenant out, and they'll only get out like the day before the closing, and then the buyer will he or she will fund it. So that's, hold on, I got to wet my whistle here. A double closing is basically two closings. It's a legal way for you to close on a property. The key on a double closing is it has to be funded. I'm not here to get into the technicalities of this because there's a million different ways to do it, but basically you fund it. You can use soft money, private money. Transactional funding is very popular here. And then you basically churn around and go to the room next to you and have your buyer fund it. Yes, in some states, some title companies, you can actually use your end buyer's money, but there's a process. Disclosures have to be issued. I'm not here to give you legal advice. I'm not telling you can do that in your state, but these are questions you talk to your title company before and figure it out. So what you can do is, I've rented money for up to 48 hours. So if I had to buy a property for $100,000 and say it cost me $103,000 with closing cost, if you're really good, you get all $103,000. You rent it for like a day or two. You pay them a $1,500 fee and you sell it for $150,000. So in essence, you make like $45,000, $46,000. That's a good use of a double closing. I'll do this all day. So I want you guys to do assignments because to me, it limits your risk. I just want you to do it the right way. But I get a lot of questions on double closings. Honestly, if you think about it, they're just two closings put together, usually within 24 to 48 hours. My favorite double closing is I sign here and then I turn over to this desk and I sell it. If you do that, you have a lot of options, and work with your title company and ask questions. Remember, the key with your title company is you need to treat them like a partner. And here's how I look at them. Let me see if I put it up here. Number one, you got to ask really good questions. Ask them. You do not want to deal with a title company, which is all they do is deal with retail and realtors. So they're always going to do some because a big part of their business. But if they never deal with investors, you're going to have a problem because they treat, like, here's the reality. Most title companies, when they look at a contract, they'll go in and look and see what the closing date is. They don't understand the word on or before. They don't even recognize it. Oh, you're closing by the 30th? Okay, we'll close on the 30th. You do not want that title company. Okay. On or before is what we write on most of our contracts. It's always before. I should just put the word before the 30th, not on. I don't know if you can legally do that, but I'm just telling you, most traditional title companies will take the 30th, put it on their calendar and tell you, well, Rick, we got till the 30th. No, you're going to close it before then. Once we clear title and we're good to go, I want to close it before him. We want to get paid, right? So do not wait till the last closing date. But go back to that video. Great questions on there. And remember, the purpose of your title company for you as a real estate investor, particularly as a wholesaler, is they are the guardians to your deal. Okay. They're there to protect you, meaning they don't want to commit fraud. They're going to snuff out anyone who's going to lie, steal, or cheat from you. And number two, they're there to inform you when your buyer is going awry, the funding's not there, or something's just not right. I want them to immediately call me, go, hey, Rick, we got a problem. I've been trying to call this guy for the last 5 days, and the closings at the end of this week, he's not responding. That's when you get that call, you've got to go in like emergency mode and fix it. You do not want to wait till the closing day to figure out this guy or gal's not going to show up. So I rely on my title companies to tell me when there's a problem. Okay. They're not perfect, but for the most part, they will show you red flags before they show up. And once you have a red flag, you can deal with it. If you wait till there is a major problem at the closing, it's too little too late. Now, my last little tip and trick here is I never, ever go to my closings unless I have an issue. So on a perfect scenario, and listen, guys, you get excited to do your first deal. You want to go get a testimonial, knock yourself out. Okay. But I'm telling you, when you show up at a closing table with the buyer and seller out there, only bad things can happen. What do I mean by that? People can ask for discounts. They can try to negotiate. Some people treat the title company closing like a poker game. Well, you can't play poker if you don't have other players. So if there's a closing set at noon, I'll usually go the day before. I prefer to sign it electronically, to be brutally honest. I'm not going to go in the room unless I have to. Okay. You should take the same advice. If you show up, stuff can be said. People's feelings get hurt. Everybody gets offended these days. Why risk it? You're running a business. You're a wholesaler. I'm telling you, if you meet in the room, I've watched more deals, especially retail, when the buyer and seller in the same room, and then you show in a realtor. And the only reason the realtor shows up, they want to know if they're going to get paid or an issue is going to pop up. Since we mostly don't deal with that type, or the realtors I deal with, they never show up at the closing company because they know they're going to get paid. So guys, use these tips. I'm telling you, they work really well. And this is the basics to the title companies. My God, there's a lot of questions. And we are going to take the next hour to get it going. But here's what I want to do, because I just probably bored the heck out of like most of you. You've got to wake back up. So let's go. Wake it up. We're going right into the questions. You got a question? Put it in now. Let's go.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and then they got go. Time to wake up. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
Okay, guys, wake up. We're back. We're going Q&As. Listen, I'm wide open. I love to answer title questions, but we can open up. There's a lot of topics going on in our industry. Before we get into it, I'm going to address a couple. First and foremost, if you guys tuned into Zach's live yesterday, this whole controversy with PropStream and, is the comps. Guys, listen, if you're a wholesaler, stop. Do not obsess over comps. I'm just telling you, there's so many tools online, and what you get with PropStream is absolutely, I'll be honest with you, the leads you get with PropStream, the ability to pull records and get information. And by the way, they are the best price service, in my opinion. I use PropStream. So I use batch leads too. I'm not married to any of these guys. I honestly, they go away tomorrow. Like, I'll figure stuff out. I use lists, or I've used so many odd sources over my life. Stuff changes, technology changes. The reality of the situation, it's the National Association of Realtors trying to flex their muscle. They are in bed with the government. The reality is they're being sued by the Department of Justice. Hundreds of millions of dollars are being exchanged. They are the strongest lobbying group in the country, maybe outside the pharmacy industry. And I'm telling you, I'm not getting politics on this, but these are realtors trying to say, hey, you've got to be a licensed realtor to get data from us. And I hate it. I'm not here to pick sides. I don't care. I just want to be a wholesaler. Do not spend time trying to debate which one's better. Just find out what works for you and use it. Now, I will tell you, PropStream is one of the biggest ones, and they've been extremely reliable, and I'm confident they'll fix it out. But if it freaks you out, go to batch lead. I don't care, guys. I don't care. I tell you what I use, and if you get value from it, use it. It works. And I'm just telling you, do not bail for comps. Comps, in my opinion, are the smallest part of wholesaling. Sorry, it's the truth. You can go to Zillow, you can go to Trulio, you can use public records. I'm not getting into the technical stuff, but guys, do not spend time. Find out how you can get more deals, get more leads, and let that stuff sort it out. It always sorts out. In the old days, I had to go to a realtor's office to get the comps. Okay? The idea is to get comps, the National Association of Realtors wants to make sure you pay some ridiculous licensing fee to have the ability to pull it. And by the way, you got to pull it for like every county, every state. You would go broke paying these fees. And I hate it. I'm not a licensed realtor. I own a brokerage. I feel most realtors serve a good purpose, but a lot of them, they just don't know anything else. They think that's the only way to do real estate, and you know better than that. So the other one I had on here, let me put it on here. So guys, make sure before you move forward, you subscribed. So you know when we go live, and you guys know we go live because today is January 6th. What is it? 5:58 p.m. So if you think I'm not doing it, anybody who does fake lives, I'm not like you want to do it. It's just a trick to try. It says live on the screen, but they're not live. I don't understand it. Do more lives. If you want to be more relative, do more lives. That's how you get more followers. So the best way you can pay me is by giving me thumbs up. I need thumbs up now because Zach's going to kill me because the count is really low. I know some of the content's not the sexiest stuff, but you guys need to know it. So we're going to have fun this last section on it. Give me some thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. And guys, if you're asking how to get into our lists, listrei.com, that's what we use. It works well. If not, you're welcome to use the batch leads. I got to find it on here. I got to find it. Zach's going to kill me, but it is what it is. As I said, I'm not married to any of these services. I just want to do stuff that helps you and provides value for you. And at the end of the day, finding comps, honestly, if you got to search a million comps, you're probably paying too much for the property. But there's so many tools on the internet now. It's ridiculous. The old days, I had to physically get in a car and drive to a realtor's office to get this. It was painful, man. It was painful. There's no other word for it. The other announcement I had on here, this is crazy. So if you guys listened in yesterday, we've officially going to launch our JV effort. So we've kind of done a soft beta up to this point. We've done some deals. We work with people, but to be honest with you, guys kind of overwhelmed us and we took note on it. So we've been working behind the scenes on this for months and months and months. And we're pretty confident in our system. Remember, guys, I don't charge you for anything. Okay. Our JV program is simply helping you flip properties. And then you have the ability to work with myself and Zach on deals. And actually, you will work with us. Okay. We're looking for really good deals. Well, I'm not going to lie to you. Like I'm not charging you for the service. So the really cool thing is I'm not requiring you to go through a coaching program. You go to freewholesaling.com, you will find better deals. I promise you. But this partnership is you actually have to do work. Okay. I don't tell you if you're not in my coaching program, you pay me 5, 10 grand. I'm not going to work with you. I find that ridiculous. And if you guys subscribe to that theory, forget it. But if you send me deals that aren't worthy, I'm going to pass on them. End of story. I want to do business in actually all 48 states. That's my goal here. Okay. And with the help of you, Zach, and the team I work with, we can do it. I don't have 30 people behind the scenes. Okay. We take a list, we take it in, we do a vetting process. And if your deal qualifies, we're going to talk to you and see how we can work together. And here's the really cool part is I'm going to teach you free wholesaling, me and Zach, and we're going to dive in and show you how to get that deal done. And if you want to work with us again, great. If not, do it on your own. I don't care. I just want everyone to be successful in wholesaling. This thing where you have to pay a course to even work with a guru, why would you guys do that? It makes no sense. So we are the only, I'm not a guru. I actually do this business, very authentic on how I do it. Well, you have the ability now to learn wholesaling at freewholesaling.com and actually work with me and Zach and do it 50-50. I'm not going to give you an 80-20 split. You're going to have to do a bulk of the work. I'm just going to guide you through the journey and what I would do on that deal and how I can help you out. If that sounds good, guys, you have the information. We're still in a little bit of a beta test. We are going to have it. It is up and running. So the sooner you submit a really good deal, your odds of working with me and Zach go through the roof. And I'm not going to hit you with a coaching fee. I'm not going to take a coaching fee. I'm not taking a deposit. I just need really good deals. And that will give you the one-on-one mentoring you guys crave so much. Now, we give it to you on the lives free anyways, but this is even better because then you walk away with a paycheck. And my name and reputation's on the line, and so is Zach. So if you go, oh, they're going to take advantage of us, dude, you could hammer me on the internet. I ain't going to do that. So with that being said, guys, tell me what you think about it. Let's dive in. I'm going into the questions. I love it. I'm going to leave this up for you guys. And that was quite an active live we had going last night. So I'm going to jump up to the top and work my way down. Oh my God, there's a lot on here. So Barbara, she's a regular on the show. I love her. I love the energy. Everybody's wishing a happy new year. That's awesome. So I want to flip with you guys as much as we possibly can. So so Chris asks, the free wholesale contracts, I assume you mean contracts, not contacts, you guys give out, am I able to use them? Yes. I'm not charging you, Chris. Just make sure it's legal, like in your state. Work with your title company first, but I've been doing this 20 years. I currently pay for a site that does them for me. Chris, you shouldn't be paying a site to do contracts for you. End of story. So I'm sure it's not a huge amount of money, but at worst, you can take my contracts. I always tell everybody to review it with a licensed attorney in your state. A lot of you guys can work with your title companies who are associated with them. I want you to do this like legally. There's so many people out there doing wholesaling so bad and so wrong. This is the reason why we're having all these legislations to try to outlaw wholesaling. Here's the reality of that situation why I'm on it, okay? So for them to monitor and discourage would-be wholesalers, people that aren't doing it right. What do I mean by that? People that put properties under contract for retail or above retail, they try to find a buyer because someone told them it's that easy, and then they back out. These people complain to their local politicians that work its way up the chain, and they go, how can we manage this? And guess what? NAR goes, let's get them licensed. Yes, the license goes through the state, but the reality is the state's going to force you to do some sort of participation with a broker. The broker's going to require you to get insurances. They're going to require you to get MLS access, whatever it is. And guess what? You got a new boss. You just became a realtor. And it's all by design. They're backdooring on you. Listen, if you have to do it in your state, do it. Do not do it till you have to. I'm telling you, it creates problems for you and liabilities. If you have to do it, do it. But if you're like, oh, I'm on the fence with my state, until you're required to do it, don't do it, guys. And don't spend any more energy on this stuff. It's a complete fear campaign. And let me show you how to do it the right way. And it's not going to, the only purpose of doing that is they think a would-be wholesaler is not going to go through this process to do it. And in theory, they're actually correct. So I don't care if they require me to get a state. It's just another cost. And eventually we're going to pass it off to the buyers like any good politician does. If you add a tax, the end consumer is going to take it over. So that's my bit on that. And you guys can comment on whatever you need with it. You're going to be forced to be a realtor. If you don't want to be a realtor, well, unless you're required by your state, do not mess with it. And last I checked, a majority of the states do not require it. So it's unfortunate if irresponsible people put us in that position, but that's the way it's going. Samuel asks, okay, do you have to go in person to meet with the title company, or can you close the deal virtually? That's a great question. So Samuel, if you have the ability, so if you're in California doing business in the Carolinas, I wouldn't tell you to fly or drive across country to meet with them. But the more you can establish a relationship, the more flexible you can. So I work with about 7 different title companies across the state of Florida in the areas we market. And at one point, I've met with all of them. Typically, we give out holiday gifts, or we have a complicated closing, someone's got to go. And then we establish a relationship, kind of a partnership. And once you do that, like now all the title companies are getting a lot of pressure to do stuff virtually. Dude, they got to know like you're real. So if they've never met you and they haven't seen you, it is a little bit of a challenge. There's some great services, guys. Do you know you can do a notary online? It's complicated. It's not simple. A third party, and I think it costs like $150. But I did one almost like, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago. I've done a couple since then. You got to put your ID up by it. You got to ask certain questions. You have to verify stuff. It's absolutely crazy. A title company that lets you do that is awesome. We have a deal going on right now. We actually have to do that because between the C word, which I'm not going to say out loud, and all the stuff going on in the world, like we're in a really unique position. Like the person can't come in to do it. So I have a relationship with them. I gave the idea and they're actually letting the deal close. Without it, it'd be dead. So Samuel, if you can't meet with them, perfect, do it. It will get you a long ways, but I get it if you can't do it. So worst, Samuel, if you can't meet with them, do a Zoom conference, do a FaceTime, get to know people, because these people will give you the lenience you need to grow your wholesaling business. So awesome question. Okay. I'm working here. Let's see. So you guys use these chat up here, and listen, you guys can partner with us. You guys can work together. I don't care. And there's no requirement to go through a coaching program and do that. I don't even require you to do my free coaching program. It kind of shows you how this business is going, but someone's got to be an innovator. If people keep doing the same old techniques, eventually they're all going to be out of business. So I appreciate it, Mr. Martin. What's up, Stony? Barbara said she's got a great title company, Chicago Title. They work with the wholesalers, investors. Great information. If Barbara, put where you're at. I know where you're at, but not everybody knows, and I don't make assumptions anymore. Let's see. So, Chris, you're probably referring to the states that require an attorney. Based on my information, you guys, you can do a simple internet search. You can look up your state statutes. Whatever state you're doing business locally, or if you're doing it virtual, you have to know clearly if an attorney is required to be there. Remember, attorney, no attorney, and some states are mixed. Like the law is gray which one you can do. So you want to work with your title company on that. So, okay. If you guys need information on how to calculate your rate, Old Republic's the biggest insurance company out there for title insurance, which is one of your biggest fees on closings. Go ahead and use that. I put it up twice. So Tim says, this is interesting. I've got a virtual title company that is in 21 states. Several of those ones I wholesale in. Very convenient and only charge around $500. Dude, Tim, share the gold. Tell us where. Tell us how to get in contact with him. This is the stuff that people love. Okay. The world is changing. I'm going to make a bold prediction. I think in 10 years, the way we're going to do real estate is going to be so different from how we do it today, meaning the cumbersome of the transaction, the verification of the information. People are sick of like making this so tough. Me personally, I think it's ridiculous. I got to go all these companies. I got to pull all this stuff and everything goes through a title company. There's got to be an easier way to do this stuff online. So, don't know what that is. Peaches here. Okay. Michael says, is Florida an attorney state? No, it's not. I'm 100% positive on it because I went to a closing today and there was no attorney there. So, but I kind of gave you a guide. You can go back earlier and refer to it. And it's, yeah, it was, I put it on the banner on the screen. So, awesome. I'm not sure what that is, Timothy. So doc stamps is basically what your county collects within the state. It's basically a tax. I mean, the bottom line, a tax is a tax. And honestly, I think doc stamps are an absolute crime. Think about how much we as wholesalers pay in doc stamps. I did the math with my accountant, and it's staggering. Hundreds of thousands of dollars I paid in recording fees. And when they don't even need to be done, like I'll buy one, sell it here, buy one, sell it here. Like, really, do I need to record it's ridiculous. There's no discounts. Like on the title insurance, when you get a discount, you don't get that with the county or the state. And it's kind of highway robbery because they don't really, it's all automatic in a computer. It's all automated. So, but they got to pay these big brick and mortar buildings. They've got to pay these ridiculous salaries. Eventually, at some point, people are going to get a lot more efficient. So, Jeff says, do you do the show every Thursday? I know every Thursday and Friday we go live. Usually Friday, it's me and Zach together. So we did a little swap today. We had a conflict in schedule. So as you guys know, we run a full-time wholesaling business. So we always have appointments and stuff we have to do. So instead of making you guys suffer, sometimes we just swap spots. But I believe we go live a minimum 3 times a week, if not up to 4. And each topic's a little bit different. Me and Zach usually like to do Friday together, and we have a lot of fun with them because I poke at Zach, says I've known the kid since the day he was born, and you guys only know him now, and we have a lot of fun. But like who you see Zach is, that's who he is. And you people have met him personally. That's who Zach is. And he loves this business. And as I said, he didn't really get involved to it till he was around 17. But man, when he went in, he went all in. And I'm trying to show you guys can do the exact same thing. There's no difference between you and Zach. There's no difference between you and me. Okay. I had a corporate job for 11 years. And I'm going to be honest with you, I hated every day of it. It just was terrible. I was a terrible student. And I was told by my teachers, you're going to be a problem kid. And you know what? I am a problem. I'm a problem because I'm going to make huge changes in society. So just because I got a D in math doesn't mean I'm any less of a person. And I think I'm not getting the whole education system. Do what you guys need to do, but you need to get involved if you have young children and early, because the education, I just think it's really changed. Society has changed, and you have to take charge of your personal freedom. And I'm talking about your ability to make money without depending on other people. And in exchange, it will give you more freedom of time. And it's never been more important in today's age than now. I just want to teach you how to do it right. You can do this business very fast. You can take your time. That's the beauty of it. I did it while I had a full-time corporate job. And so a lot of people we work with here, they're like, hey, should I leave my job and that? I go, listen, if you got kids, you got a mortgage, you got obligations, do not bail. So you got 24 hours in a day. You can get this done. I did it. You're no different than I am. So, Brandon asks, does Florida have taxes you pay at closing if you're not using a business? So the only taxes you pay at closing are going to be the state and county taxes to record that transaction. The only time they ever hold money back from a real estate deal is if you have like an outstanding lien, and if it's in your personal name and you're buying it in your personal name, well, you should always do it through an LLC or a business. That's why you want to do it. If you have an IRS lien, they're going to take that money right out. So if you have a back payment, alimony, or child support, a lot of title companies are going to want to hold that money and have you satisfy it. The only other one is if you're of foreign descent and you're not a citizen of the United States. I believe they hold back a percentage, and I've seen it happen a few times. Obviously not with me, but that's the only time. They are not responsible for taxes. Somebody asked me, hey, Rick, does the title company report the income? Here's the crazy thing, the sale. Some title companies issue a 1099. I don't get it. Like, so if you're doing a real estate transaction under an LLC, an S Corp or a C Corp, there's no purpose to issue a 1099. 1099s, like, believe it or not, just create problems. So I had a title company issue me a 1099 from 3 years prior, and it triggered a letter from the IRS, and it took me 2.5 years to. So I got like $150,000 1099 from 3 years ago when a closing of a title company that's out of business now, and the IRS wanted me to pay like a $38,000 tax bill. I said, I'm not paying it. I've already recorded as income. I have filed my 1120, which is nothing but a fancy word for a company filing a tax return. And I had to like get people to help me like unwind it because they wanted to come after my assets and everything. So that's a great question. I would ask your title companies, do you issue a 1099? Now, I'm not scared of a 1099. I just want them on time if you're going to do them because they have to correlate with your taxes for that year. So if you're like me, that money's going into a business account and you're recording it as income. So you're already paying taxes on it anyways. I refuse to pay taxes twice. And sloppy title companies that are going out of business or on the verge of business will do desperate things. And they get required in office. You didn't issue a 1099. It's not required by title companies. It's the owner's choice. It might be a little bit different in your states, but I'm just telling in Florida, we have this issue all over the board. And I get very difficult with them because I pay my taxes. I just don't want to be double taxed. So if you guys have ever fought the IRS, if you make enough money, you eventually will, is the IRS does not care. They don't care. And you have to prove to them. And it takes time and money to prove it to them. And it costs you money. So good question, Jeff. I appreciate it. So let's see here. Okay, we are catching up here, I promise. Guys, keep putting in your questions. I'm going to keep going as long as we can answer questions. We've got like another 45 minutes, so I need questions. And by the way, we can talk about title companies, anything you want to talk about in real estate, particularly the wholesaling I prefer. So Michael asks, should I email my title company and ask for a fee schedule? I have a closing coming up at the end of the week. Yeah, because Michael, listen, if somebody tells you what their fees are there, they don't have the ability to change it after the fact. Now, if you don't like the fee, you can ask questions about it and negotiate it. You can actually do the trade old trick of calling around other title companies, getting their fee schedules and say, listen, won't you match or compete with these other title companies? They know what the other title companies' fees are. The idea, Michael, is just to keep them honest so they don't take advantage of it. If they know this is like your first deal or two, this guy's, let me tell you what, I got killed on my first few deals. I once paid a $2,800 closing fee because I didn't know, but I was making like 30 grand. But I don't need my title company making huge fees off of me. I work my butt off, just like you guys work your butt off. Don't give your money away. Make sure it is there. So I appreciate it, Michael. Thank you. Okay. We are working our way. David. That's incredible. It says, I'm doing a double closing right now on a $110,000 wholesale fee. Holy, that's huge. So that's incredible. Actually, I'm impressed. So if you want to share any more, buttons on that or anything like that, I would love, any more information, $110,000 assignment fee. I got to get like some clips to play, just like when we get stuff like that. So I don't ring bells or do anything foolish like that. But man, that's awesome. That's incredible. So, dude, share more details. Like I get all like goosebumps when I hear stuff like that. I want to know how you did it, how it worked. That's awesome. Corey says, going to use this opportunity to squat up. Here's the really cool part is, listen, squat ups, it's a good terminology. Like I got to get like A+ for marketing. I'm not requiring you to be a student of mine and pay me a fee to get to me. And I need you guys to help me spread the word on it. We are the only ones out there doing this because I feel learning wholesaling should be like learning your ABCs. I want to get you to 100K as quick as possible. If I can be a part of it and we can work together and you get some one-on-one mentoring, it's not costing you a dime with me. You just got to go out and find the deals. So squat up. JV up, call it whatever you want. I don't care. Everyone let know. You go to Flip with Rick, you are not required to pay a coaching fee, or you're not required to leave $1,000 deposit. You are required to work your butt off and learn. And then I'll teach you the skill set. Zach will teach you. And man, we can make a ton of money together. We have like a great time. I'm not into this for the coaching dollars, guys. If I wanted coaching dollars, I'd do it. I've tried some other stuff like that. I hated that part of the business. I don't understand this mentality. 20 years ago, I was brought in on that. And I'm telling you, the world's changed. YouTube is an amazing, amazing platform. I could not imagine what we're doing in my wildest dream that's here right now. So I want to utilize it. I want to make it work. And I want to touch as many people as possible. There's no way I can give one-on-one teaching. I don't care even what I charge. There's just not enough time in the day. So a lot of people tell you this one-on-one mentoring is they have sales staff. Why do they have a sales staff? So they can turn and burn as many students as possible. And your one-on-one coaching, they put you in groups and they rotate you like every 20 or 35 people, and they sit there all day. Who in the world wants to sit behind a computer all day and do coaching? I love coaching and working with you guys, but I rather work on deals. I'm sorry, man. I rather work on deals. I get so excited to work on deals. Shoot, I do it for free, man. I love this stuff, man. I'm excited about it. And like, you're going to see eventually when things shift in the market here. I've been through this so many times. Gurus come, they go, and there's a new wave, and there's a, you got to call 50,000 people a day. Like, guys, dude, real estate investing is going to be around forever. And you know what? I don't care. I actually enjoy all the people out there because all I ask is they be authentic. Guys, this whole like car thing, do you want to go see my cars? It's ridiculous. Like, I'm a boat guy. So like a car, I've never seen someone spend more than $500 or $600 on a car, like on a boat. Dude, that doesn't even get you in the starter's gate. Like, you have no idea what like these like millions and millions of dollars for even like small boats. That stuff gets me excited. Now, only buy it when you can afford it. But man, that stuff blows me away. A car, shoot, I used to be in the car business. I could care less about cars. It just, they don't do anything for me. And I've passed that down to my kids. Don't be owned by a car. Don't be owned by a car payment. You guys got to get financially free. Use wholesaling. If you love this stuff, dive in. I'm no different than you. I sat behind a desk in a boring corporate job for 11 years. I made a lot of money doing it. I hated every day of it. So like, I don't have to set an alarm. I can do what I want all day. And I'm choosing to be here with you guys because now we can do deals together. So you guys are inundated with coaching programs. Like, heed the warning. It's quick money. It's fast money. I can flip this student. I can do that. These masterminds, they're not organic anymore, man. They're all paid for it. You really think they're in your best interest when you pay someone 20, 30 grand for what, 3 or 4 meetups? I could teach you exactly how to go out and meet up with because the real value in the meetups is the people that are there. You don't have to pay 20, 30 grand to meet these people. They're all online. It's not hard, guys. Pick up the phone, start contacting people. I've had a few of you really tricky ones here get a hold of me. And it freaks me out and excites me at the same time. So I'm trying to find ways to work with you guys so we can do it. So if we get a really good deal and we work together, I promise you there's so many more deals we can do. Guys, I don't know anybody else doing this. You guys let me know. Everybody else has a requirement. Oh, you got to do my coaching program. You got to do this. Why? Let's remove all obstacles. I'm not going to waste time on bad deals. I'm not going to be rude to you, but like, if it's a bad deal, I'll tell you, doesn't qualify. End of story. So, so Angelica says, I spent all day trying to get the water shut off list from site and calling them nothing. Hey, this is day 1, Angelica. Suck it up. Go to day 2. So you might want to talk about possibly physically visiting, emails, social media sites, whatever you got to do. Listen, every county and city is different. So what I tell you, what happens in my area might not work as well on you. Here's the reality is that you might not even be able to get it. There's some places you can't get it. You just want to get to the truth as fast as possible so you don't waste your time. Okay. And if that doesn't work, you got a million other categories to go to and figure it out. I've yet to meet anyone who got the water shut off list that got it on the first try. So I'm just being honest with you so you understand the obstacles and some of the challenges you'll deal with it. So, um, so this is one of my favorite questions. I get it. I think every live stream, and I'm okay with it. So Rich asks, how many calls do you have with a seller before you make an offer? Rich, here's the reality. Sometimes it's as little as 1, and sometimes it's 50 calls. Like, it's crazy. So we have this thing called human beings. We're all very unique and different. And some people want it done quick, done fast, wham, bam, thank you, man. And other people, they want to drag you through the ringer to do it. Here's the beauty of wholesaling. You're in charge. You decide who you want to work with. And I've had sellers so difficult. I mean, with big profits, we just walk away. Like, everybody has a limit in what you can deal with, and you guys need to heed the warning. It's just not worth it with people. I did a probate once with 26 errors, and I didn't want to do it. It dragged on for 2 years. They taxed me on a weekly basis, and you know what? I walked away. I said, I don't need all of this. Like, I'd get 22 degree, 3 or 4 were dragging me out. Then at one point I got to 24, agreed. I had 2 hanging on the shelf. Their demands were so ridiculous. I said, you know what? I'm walking away. Guys, you can only reach so far for a deal. Because if you have to reach too far, they're not a motivated seller. By me walking away and just say, listen, I can't do this anymore. I can't make you sell the property. I think it's a good deal. And if you guys can come to a common answer and a common agreement, call me. And I moved on. And then I would reach out, but it doesn't mean I stopped pursuing. I just stopped wasting my energy. I would contact every 30 days. Well, more of the story is 2 more years went by. And I wound up buying the property. We got the last heir. And then, just like gold, they all agreed. And we got to the closing table. And one of the heirs decided they needed a $10,000 extortion fee to do it. And that's when I learned the power of probate, because I had a lot of experience in there. And what happens, just so you guys know, if you have multiple parties, especially distant family members, and they agree to it and they sign the contract and they go to closing and then they try this kind of hostage scenario, you can actually go to the judge with an attorney and let them know what's going on. And the actual judge will basically excuse that person if it's valid, and let them know that all the fees and stuff, they're going to move forward. They're not going to let them hold the probate hostage because you're hurting all the estate. And then they're going to charge them a fee for the time of the court and the lawyer. And they're actually going to wind up getting less than all the other parties. So I actually enacted that. At the end, she folded and she wound up selling us. I made a huge amount of money, but it was 4 years, guys. But if I pulled away in the first 3 months, I probably still would have got the deal. Bottom line is, if you guys run your own business and you're in charge of it and you love wholesaling, there's just certain people you don't want to deal with. Like, I get some really crazy people. And I want you to understand, when people are pushing, you deal with some weird ones. Like, the reality of a wholesaler is you're part social worker, you're a psychiatrist. Sometimes you got to be a fortune teller. You guys know what I'm talking about. And I'm telling you, it's crazy. But like, when someone pushes you to limit and they're asking you to do things that are way outside the bounds, just move on. Like, you're not required to do business with them. Federico says, what is the lawyer title if it's a lawyer state? I'm not sure what you mean by that question. So if you could rephrase it, I promise you I'll answer it. So the title of a lawyer in a lawyer state, I don't know. It's just an attorney that usually owns the title company or works within the title company. So if you rephrase it, I'll try to clarify it. Sorry about that. So Yaga asks, if I get a deal under contract, should I make the cash buyer pay for my attorney fees since I'm in New York? So as long as you can legally do an assignment of agreement in the state of New York, which I'm pretty sure you can, remember, when you assign a contract, they pay all the closing fees. So if you do it correctly under wholesaling, you should never pay any of these fees to begin with. So I prefer for you guys to assign it. And if you do that, the end buyer, if they're in New York, they've probably done other closings and they're used to these customary fees. The only risk you run, Yaga, is sometimes these seasoned buyers, they're used to doing with title companies. And remember, you've got to use your title company. So they're like, well, my attorney charges $600 to close this file, and your attorney's charging $900. Worst case scenario, give the guy $200 and move on with your life. I stand strong, but you guys can do whatever you do. That's the only potential problem I see with you. Awesome question, though. So R1CA, well, I don't even know how to pronounce it, but listen, I appreciate you having on here, and I do not take you guys for granted. So remember, I've been doing this a long time. I've watched lots going on, and for the last 4 or 5 years, why these ridiculous run-up of gurus has come, I'm watching a complete change in the tide, because you guys have spoken. You want people that actually really do the business. You do what you say, and you're authentic, meaning you're not one person on the camera and then you're different when I go outside of there. That's not me, and I don't want to do that with you guys. So the more you guys can help us get people to subscribe and help us out grow this channel, I'm telling you, I can give you more and more value. And me and Zach are constantly trying to push the limits of what we can do. So guys, you got any more questions? I got another half hour. Let's go, man. I haven't even gotten into the lightning round yet. So I don't know many other gurus coming in and answer your questions like endlessly and come on 3-4 times a week to do the questions. So take advantage of it. If you don't take advantage of it, you're stuck. So do me a favor. Just make sure you guys hit to subscribe so you get notifications when we go live. And when we go live, we really go live. It's 6:32 p.m. on January 6th. So if you guys, somebody always say, are you live, Rick, or is this pre-recorded? And by the way, for you guys that just jumped in halfway, I appreciate you. We all got busy lives. All this content and stuff is stored on our YouTube channel on Flip with Rick. So you can go there and you can rewind it and take your time and pull out the nuggets you need to do on it. So I appreciate you guys. Let's keep moving. Let's see. Appreciate it, Samuel. Okay, so we got your 2 deals. So so what we're in the process of doing, we're seeing every deal that comes forward, and we're coming up with the best system so we don't drive each other crazy on communication. And so, the ones that are coming through, me and Zach are personally like going through, and we're working with some employees. We work in our other business, in our wholesaling business, to help us sort out the information. And we're trying to find the best way. So we're fair and we're quick and we're honest with you. I'm going to tell you, if the deal won't work, I'm not going to waste your time, because guys, you didn't give me $5 or $7 grand. So I can be brutally honest with you. And I'll tell you to either go back and renegotiate it, or the deal is terrible. And that way you don't waste your time and you get to learn in the process. So we have your deal. I'm working with it. Actually, me and Zach tonight are going over stuff, and then we got the first half of tomorrow. So I promise you, if you put it in, it's not going into a sea of abyss. And the sooner you guys put it in, they're all timestamped. So you will get more and more of me and Zach's time if you do that. So what a better way than to share a profit and work with it, because it doesn't cost you anything and I put money in your pocket. And the best way to learn is to work on a deal. The gurus will tell you the best way to learn is pay them a fee. Then you've got skin in the game. You ever heard the skin in the game? Your skin in the game is your time and your effort. Okay. The problem with most gurus is they can't tell you the truth, because they're usually in bed with some sort of company that they're pitching a lot, or they're so jaded that if you don't pay the fee, they're not going to give you the time of day. And to me, I operate from the theory is the more people I can help, the better I'll do and the more I'll prosper and the more you'll prosper. And if you subscribe to that theory, subscribe to this channel and we'll just keep this going. So Christian says, let's JV. I'm in Dallas. Oh my, I love doing deals in Texas. One of my favorite states to do it. Couple of requirements from the closing, but man, you guys got great deals there. Always. David says, make sure that your cash buyer always pays the fee. And I agree 100%. So, awesome. Samuel says, awesome content. What's up, John? Man, I love to find out where you guys are from. So when you guys post comments and emojis, stuff like that, just tell me where you're at, because I love to get a feel for the entire country, because I just got to get on. I'm not even going to get on a bus, dude. Like, we just got to find a way to just have a really cool gathering. Let's do a one of a kind type of deal. Like no fees involved, no nothing. everyone's so money hungry in real estate. Everyone's like, oh, my time, it's so valuable. And my time's valuable because when I'm done with this, I go spend time with my family, enjoy my wife, have a good time with my kids, my dog too, although he drives me nuts. And that's what life's about. I'm not getting on a plane and a bus and like touring the entire country. You guys know my theory on like the whole TV show thing and why we turned it down, because I want the exposure. I'm a wholesaler. I'm not a fix and flipper. Fix and flipping is a losing proposition. That means you are in the construction business and you're better off working with a wholesaler. You can't do both, in my opinion. You can cherry pick, which fix and flip is very, very time consuming. And there's a lot of unknown factors in there. In wholesaling, I buy it for 100. I sell it for 120. I make 20. I'm not swinging a hammer. I'm not doing a paintbrush. And if I'm doing any of this stuff, I pay a small crew to go out. It's easy to manage and I move on with my life. I've done it every way, guys. I'm literally done every way you can do real estate investing. And I'm telling you, wholesaling is the best way. Now, remember, wholesaling is just the art of finding awesome deals. You want to do creative financing with it. You want to be a landlord. You want to have a portfolio of rentals. Heck, you want to fix and flip. If that's your passion, knock yourself out. I find fix and flippers very interesting people because they're so obsessed with the end product. They lose the biggest sight of the biggest issue in real estate investing. It's called real estate investing. So a lot of people turn from real estate investor to fashion coordinator and designer. And I tell you, dude, I can't design stuff and I know it. I know what I like, but the reality is really nice things cost money. And if you over budget and you over expend on the property, you're not a real estate investor anymore because you don't make any money. So you got to decide what you want to do. If you love the idea of using your mind to make money and making deals really with just by talking to people, but once you get into fix and flips, I find this light bulb goes off. People go, well, I can do 10 or 12 of these a year. I'm telling you, fix and flips. I did one that was a year project. I think I made like $36,000. Dude, I probably put 1,200 hours into that project. I didn't make any money. It's ridiculous. It was kind of cool, but when it was sold, I just went and did a wholesale deal and I made 40 grand in 2 weeks time. So I gave up a year of my life for something I thought I was going to make like 150 grand. And the reality is every flip show, they 100% do not tell the truth in what's made. And you guys see it on a lot of the shows. I'm not knocking it, but if I'm going to go on a TV show, I promise you the first wholesaling show on there, me and Zach are there. That's what I want to do. End of story. I don't care what channel wants to promote it. Netflix, if you're watching, I'm all in because we live the most unique lifestyle of them all. But fix and flip, the people are obsessed with this stuff. It has nothing to do with wholesaling. Nothing, guys. Don't fall in the trap. I tried it a few times. It's terrible. It's a trap. And I'm telling you, it will drive you out of this business faster than anything. You want to fix and flip your own house, knock yourself out. I'm just telling you, unless you run a construction company and have a contractor's license or your partner's a contractor, don't do it. I know it doesn't work. At least for me, if you want to stay on wholesaling. So if you value your time and you don't want a job, don't do flipping. And then the best part is when you see these, all these shows, there's like zombie flippers, there's triple digit flip, amazing what they're doing. But man, dude, they're giving up a ton of time. They're doing production crews. They're doing COVID tests every day. You got to be kidding. I'd never do that stuff. Who does that stuff? Anything to get a promotional factor, and like it's their choice and I welcome it. But at the end of the day, they're doing a fix and flip shows and it has nobody's ever sharing any information on how to find the deals. And I always hear the theory, well, I get a lot of exposure with it. Yeah, but you're not being who you truly are. If you're really good at finding great deals, and that's what I want to do. And anything that takes me off rails in that, I don't want any part of it. And it took me a long time to figure that out, guys. A long time to figure it out. So really appreciate your time and knowledge and mindset. Wishing you and your family a happy new year. Guys, dude, 2022, this is the year to make your change, guys. Instead of giving all your money to these gurus, just go to freewholesaling.com and you guys can easily do this yourself. It is easy. It's free. And I promise you, you will never be hit over the head between me and Zach. I always make that promise. I've been true to my word. If anybody has any questions about that, put it in the comments now. I'm happy to address it. So, I Stony dance, dude. I tell you, we got to do it like a live exchange. I'm probably the worst dancer in the world. And I've actually considered taking like dancing lessons to actually learn it. Because I think anything you want to do in your life, if you want it bad enough, you can learn it. And that includes wholesaling and dancing, like Stony said. So from the waist up, I'm fine. I don't know what happens with my hips and legs when I dance. It's not pretty. Zach bans me from dancing on the show, although I do love music. I really, really love it. So here for the awesomeness. Danny wants to make sure Stoney's okay because he busted a move. Stoney says, I want to make my cash buyers cover my medical expenses. So awesome. So happy new year, new day, new month, new opportunities, guys. Awesome. So somebody put on here, they can't hear me, but I assume everyone hears me. Eddie says you used ReFX in Florida. No, I haven't, but if you can share any information, so you always have to be open to stuff, guys, in real estate. I just hate like spam stuff. So I trust you guys when you put it in here. So do a little research and share some information with us. And if it helps me or Zach or any of the users here, I'm all for it. I can't stand on by the way, if you guys want to know how to get in touch with us online, the best way, let's see here. Oh God, you can tell, like, I don't do this part of it. So you know how to reach us on the JV. We have a wholesaling group. Wholesaling Houses for Real, probably the fastest growing Facebook group out there. And here's the goal. We take our same mantra that we do on our YouTube channel, our live streams, and we make everything for free on there. Now, our only preface is you provide value and you don't spam. Guess what? People, dude, spamming's so dead. It's the fastest way to kill your business. So if you're going to come at me with Forex, what do they call the Amazon? FBO, FBA? It's the fastest way to make sure I can get rid of you. And I'd rather you do it right off the bat because we basically have automatic filters. We have someone that actually goes through this stuff. I actually have to pay someone to sort that crap out. It's ridiculous. The fastest way to kill your company and your business is to spam. It doesn't work. Everybody knows the secret. I'm so tired of it. And while we're on the subject, let's talk about this. So I've been doing this almost 20 years. So I've seen the transition from wholesaler, then it comes coaching. I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to make $1 million. After a while, you kill your audience. You beat the hell out of them. You take all their money and actually you walk away with a huge chunk of change because if you're making 10 grand, you got 1,000 students. It's a lot of money, guys. Then they always say, I'm going to do, I've seen this, wholesaling's dead. So now I'm going to go do Amazon, FBO, FBA, whatever they call it. Oh my God, I got $100,000 in sales this month. That's sales, dude. You're making a small net on that stuff and it's a logistical nightmare and you're one click away from being put out of business. And we saw that transition. What was the next one? I'm going to be I'm not allowed to say the word. I'm going to be you know guys what I'm talking about. And I'm going to get rich on these coins. And listen, I love the long play in it, but you guys day trading, you're going to get killed. Like you're not going to make a living doing that. And then my favorite one, holy moly, let's Forex. I'm an expert on Forex. I find people get 2 months in the Forex and now they're an expert. Forex, in my opinion, listen, knock yourself out. You want to trade foreign currency is great. It's really an MLM company. Like you know why? Because I get hammered on spams, emails. It's ridiculous. So I assume you guys tell me if I'm right or wrong. I got to assume there's some sort of sign-up fee with Forex, and who's ever promoting it gets a portion of that fee. So if somebody wants to verify that, but I just told you the transition from a wholesaler. They go wholesaling, they go here, they go there, that. And the idea at some point, you're going to have to pick something and stick to it. Guess what? Businesses get tough. Things change. Stick to it. All businesses are prone to it. But I just don't understand taking these big giant fees from people up front to sell them this vision. Honestly, if they're so good at wholesaling, why don't they just stick to it? I don't understand it. So we kind of have a unique approach. So I that was my tangent on it. I keep telling Zach, I go, maybe we should have like a Rick rant, because sometimes, man, I can unload. Like, I've seen a lot in my life, and I can't, but I don't get sour on it. Like, I listen to like the Forex thing. Here's the deal in Forex. They only exchange their wins with you, and you never hear about their losses, very rarely. And by the way, that happens in wholesaling too. So many investors go, I got this $50,000 deal, but they won't tell you they spent $25,000 to get it. Listen, celebrate your win, but share more data with us so we can all help. These guys are going out, flashing the cars. My favorite is The Office. Oh my gosh. Listen, I'm all for it. You want to run a big operation? That's not my cup of tea. But at the end of the day, if you're going to share all these huge wins you got, please share the entire spreadsheet. Okay. There's a thing called a net, and what you net is what you take home and what you earn. You also have to calculate the amount of hours that you put in for it. And there is no wholesaling business that is automated. Like, you have to work in this business. Okay. What you do with that money and the assets you buy will make the difference in your family and you's life. But, oh, we made 100,000 this month. Yeah, but you spent 95,000 making it, and you got 3 partners. You just made $5,000, and you showed up at the office and worked a 40, 50-hour week. So I'm telling you, if you're starting out wholesaling, don't get an office. Don't buy into this thing. You know where they park the fancy car out in front, they walk you up, and they go, here's my employees. You're just getting a little snippet of what's going on. Show up unexpectedly and see what you see in that office. And I promise you, you'll see a different story. I know there's legitimate people out there. I know some serious wholesalers, and but they love that stuff. And you know what? If you love it, knock yourself out. It's a lot of work. I tried it. I didn't try it. I did it. And after 4 years, it just burned me out. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, there's so much money coming in and out. Like, how much you making? And then I don't want to be married to a desk. I want to be able to get with a laptop and go anywhere I want in the world, not the United States. Hopefully conditions will change and it'll be a lot easier to exchange and fly and do whatever you want. But to me, that's freedom. That's being married behind a desk. And I promise you, if you leave that desk for months on end, your company will run to the ground. It's hard. You got to get a CEO, a CFO. All these people require a lot of money, and you have to do big business. The reality is, wholesaling, if you try to scale it to the massive degree where people tell you, I want to make $10 or $15 million, there's a reason they're telling you that. And I guarantee they have a coaching program for you. Okay. I've yet to see anybody scale to those numbers and survive, because I watch people come in Florida all the time. Oh, they spend 50, 100 grand in marketing. They only last 6 or 7 months because it's not sustainable. So as you scale and get higher, the cost of efficiency goes down. And the reality of most business, they make a 15, 20% return. You can't survive on that in wholesaling. You need 50% margins to work in this business. And the way we teach it, that's what we do. So, okay, that was it. So sorry about that, Eddie. I hope that answers. So it's, what are the roles in real estate wholesaling investing team, cold caller, acquisition manager? So here's the reality. If you're starting out, it's you, and it's you only. Get used to it. That's how I did it. That's how I taught Zach. And you guys a lot of you people want to go from 0 to 100 miles an hour. Okay. Pick your marketing, train on freewholesaling.com, figure out how to talk to sellers, get deals under contract, find cash buyers, repeat the process a dozen times, then bring in people to help you grow and scale the business. If you want to skip that process, there's so many people that take your money out there, and these gurus are depending on you selling you this dream. Nobody tells you the pitfalls of it. The reality is, I did this all these roles right here. I did it for 7 years all by myself. Now, I was stubborn and stupid, but I still made a lot of money. So it's helped develop me who I am today. So I don't regret it, and I wouldn't redo it any other way. So many people want to do acquisitions managers. I go, honestly, until you're doing 50 plus deals a year, you don't need an acquisition manager. Like, you're literally going to give up the best part of your company and outsource it. If anything, outsource everything else and you be the acquisitions managers. So, and he says, I would like to buy a probate course. Do you still have one available for sale? So anyway, I always give this full disclosure. I sold a probate course back in 2013. I can tell you, it's the best probate course ever get out. I believe, what was it called? PPS. And I put it out there. And I sold it for like $100. It was ridiculous. And then I revamped it. I worked with a company and I actually sold the rights. They asked me to update it. I sold the rights. So yes, you can go out there and find it. I will tell you this. It's a really good, it's minimal amount of money. Okay. I don't get any money from it. Okay. I can't take it down. I don't benefit from it. But if you use it and you get benefit from it, knock yourself out. It's extremely detailed. I've been told it's the best course out there on probate because I did 100 deals based on that philosophy. So, but go to freewholesaling.com first, pull out I've extracted a lot of that information, put it in there. That course is a little bit more detailed, but I signed the rights away to it. I moved on. It's not the end of the world. If you want to do it, but just understanding you're not buying it from me. I don't have any customer service on it. And that's my disclaimer on it. So, but go to freewholesaling.com first. Angelica says, what email do we use? You're not going to use an email. You are going to send it to here. So it is flipwithrick.com/JV. And it's basically a form you fill out. It goes into our database with Flip with Rick. And I promise you, we're looking at it every day. So if you put quality deals in there and you answer all the questions and you listen to the video I give and follow instructions, your odds to do a deal with us are very high. If you ignore one detail, I promise you they drop drastically because there's a process to doing this stuff. So I would love to do a deal, but the reality is not every deal qualifies. And you got to look at it like this, Angelica, is you will learn from the process. So if you submit a deal and it doesn't work, I'll give you some feedback on it. How's that? Instead of just saying, it doesn't work. By the way, you need to buy my coaching program. A, you'll never buy my coaching program. I'll give it to you for free anyways. Number two, I'm going to tell you, if it doesn't qualify, I'm going to tell you why it doesn't qualify and what you need to do to try to make it a deal. And you will learn. Guys, this is how you learn. Remember in high school when they taught you prepared for a test and you did it. And it was like, if you got an A, you're awesome. If you got an F, you failed. Life doesn't work that way. Okay. You got to do stuff. You got to commit to it. And when you fail at it, which if you don't fail, it means you're not trying hard enough. Okay. You're not going to get an A on every test. Heck, you're not even going to get a C on it. Sometimes you're going to get a flat out F minus. And what happens is when you fail, it's your ability to learn from that mistake will define you as a human being. You got a choice. You can either hide under you can hide behind the bed and go, I'm never want to make that mistake again. I'm scared to death. Or you can go, you know what? I learned a valuable lesson from that. You reflect on it. You make note of where it went wrong and you go right back at it. And that's how I live life. I would love to talk to my math teacher from high school, but probably have to see a therapist for that one. I would love to see where she is now. So whatever. I got a D on your math test. She said I would never amount to anything. I don't give a crap. What are you doing today? You taking care of your family? Because I know I am. So, but Angelica submitted there. That's my rant on that. Guys, it doesn't matter what you did in school. I don't care about your education level. Honestly, I went to college. College had no bearing on how successful I was as an entrepreneur. And for full disclosure, I went to college for 5.5 years. So, and I implored community college. So be it what it is, I think I'll leave it alone. College is just an extension of your education and nothing more. It is not a tool to teach you how to be financially free. It's actually quite the opposite. So Marcus says, I have a deal at the moment, but she has title issues. Welcome to the club. And with the old owner, I'm stuck. So Marcos, if you even want to submit the deal and explain what's going on, if you're interested in doing the JV, if we can help you out with it, or you can share in the comments or the chat here and let us know if there's any way we can help you out. So listen, guys, you'll always have title issues. They always pop up. We're buying challenging properties. Your job is to try to solve it. If it's with an old owner, there are tricks and trades you can do. They're a little bit more advanced than this particular meeting, but submit the deal if you want a JV and see if we can work on it. If not, worst I'll do is give you feedback. So awesome. Yes, Tammy, I mean, everything. So with old PPS, remember, I'm not selling it. I sold it and I took a big paycheck and I decided I wanted to get away from doing instructional paid stuff so I could do stuff for free. So if you buy it, just understanding it's out there. The reason I'm telling you is so you don't think I'm like doing an undermine thing. I don't own it. So I don't benefit from it. So go to freewholesaling.com, check out our probate section. And then if you want to buy it online, just understanding it's a legit company you're buying it from. I just don't benefit from it, but I told them I would never knock it. So I have people like that still buy it and comment on it. I'm fine with it. It is what it is. I think I got another 8 years left on the contract. So if it helps you out, it's great. It's and by the way, guys, it's not $1 million. It's like $100 or $197. Pretty cheap stuff. So it's a lot better than your $7,000 courses that teach you nothing. So Barbara says she's in Washington State. So I've only been there once. Sonash counties. Awesome. So if you guys need to connect with her, she's actually always on this chat and I love it. And she takes full advantage of everything we offer here. And I want you guys to do it. So Olivia says, hey, I made it. Appreciate it. Jeffrey says, I'm in Albuquerque. I have a vacant residence. I have vacant residence, 30 or so. I know there's a deal in there somewhere. Jeffrey, go get it. And then submit it below. And let's see if we can work together. If you do, we can talk one-on-one and we can work together as partners. And here's a really cool thing. Anybody can test. I've done a lot of business with people like all over the country. When you do a deal with me, like you're in, like we connect, I text with people. I just want people to reach for it, man. Like I want people just like me out there. So I'm not knocking you if you don't do it. Like it's not to everyone's tea, but I love people to go out and hustle and have fun. That's how I train Zach. That's how I want to train you guys, and you guys can do it. I promise you. Because I don't want a connection from you when you pay me a coaching fee. Okay. How much deeper of a connection can we have if we do a deal together? I think I'm much more credible if we do a deal together as opposed to you paying me a fee and you never doing a deal. So, and what about this? If you don't pay me, we partner on a deal, you make money and we do it 2 or 3 times over. It'd be amazing. Guys, I want you to spread your wings and fly out of the nest. I'm not here to hold you back. If anything, I'm making this as clear free as possible for you. So awesome. Okay, we're in the lightning round. Sharon says, did you do some deals in Houston, Texas? Yes, I have. And I love Houston. And I actually have a lot of friends that I do business with in Houston and just old acquaintances over the time that I've learned, but I love Houston. It's a wonderfully growing city and it's very real estate friendly. So I would love to do more deals. I haven't done one in about 1.5 years over there. So I'd love to do some more. So guys, here's the thing is I'm an expert in Florida. Like anything in Florida, I'm on it. From Central Florida down, like Orlando down, like I know the whole area. But I know how to do deals. I know how to teach you guys how to do it. The key is you guys know your markets. You know what works and what does. So when we partner up, I want you to understand is you're going to do work. Like this isn't Rick does everything for you. That's a different arrangement. And if Rick does everything for me, I'll just buy the deal from you. But I'd rather just work with you and teach you because it's a life skill you can walk away. And let me ask you, would you rather pay someone $5,000 or $10,000 to learn wholesaling? Or would you rather partner up with someone that could put money in your pocket? You learn the process and the whole dime. It doesn't cost you a dime. They're beyond powerful. And you guys always ask for it. That's why me and Zach are bringing it to you. We're putting our money where our mouth is. So, Stony with the pelvic thrust. I'm not even going down on that one, dude. So, I'm going to work on some video. I got to do it over the weekend. I'm not going to spend like a weekday doing it. We're just going to have some fun with this. What's up? So I know you're on the feeds all the time. What's the most important questions you ask your title company? I did an entire video on this. So just go under YouTube, under Flip with Rick and search title companies. And I think I gave like a 12, 15-minute video. It's extremely powerful and it's helped out a lot of people. Just go through that one in detail so I don't like tie up the last 5 minutes of this feed. So, but it's important you vet your title companies, guys. Don't do it at the closing. It's too late. Mr. Martin says, great job. Stoney's dancing again. I got no music going on. David says he's used the channel and our contracts for both sides. So good to hear it's working. Congrats, David. Okay, so I got somewhere from California. So I'd love to hear from like different states. So Kat says, in Southern California, escrow services are usually performed by independent escrow companies. So how do we title process? How would we title process in this situation? What are the steps after getting a deal under contract? So if you've left escrow with a third-party company, so a lot of times, guys, brokerages, they'll have an escrow account. They don't like doing it because they're liable for it, and it makes sense. But the title company just needs to get a what's the word they call it? There's a letter that just says basically a earnest money of deposit or escrow letter, and they need to get it from that dedicated escrow company, and then they'll keep it on file, and they'll when the closing comes, they'll move the money over. It's much better if it's all at the title company because you don't have to worry about money transferring and getting charged as fees. But have the title company get in contact with that escrow company, and they should take care of it. But what they're going to do is verify that that money's sitting in a bank account somewhere. That's the title company's job. So, okay, lightning rounds here. I'm finishing up the last few questions. You guys are sharing information. Dude, don't let it go to my head here. I'm not as funny. Like my wife doesn't think I'm that funny. Zach sometimes doesn't think I'm very funny, but I appreciate it. Okay, so we're going to wrap up with these last few ones. Brandon says, I'm being pressed to pay for coaching. That's the problem right there. Don't ever be pressed. You're pressed because they're trying to put money in their bank account. End of story. Nobody should force you into do something you don't want to do. Okay. Buy and hold strategy for multifamily. Not sure where I can go to get that information and learn without paying. Dude, Brandon, go to freewholesaling.com. I'm going to teach you how to do this. You're being pressed because you are a target to make money. You are now the motivated seller, and the coach is targeting you with his sales staff, or personally, he or she. I don't know what it is. You guys should never be pressured into doing it. If anything, tell them to demonstrate their worth before you give them a dime. How do you do that? Show me the last 10 HUDs you've done. Why not? You're such a great coach. It should be there. Oh, no. I don't do it. My students do it. I don't even hide behind that one. I'll show you my HUDs. I don't care. Guys, you should never feel the word pressed pisses me off. You shouldn't be pressed. Make sure you block that person, or tell you what, tell them Rick and Zach told me that they'll provide me the services for free. And here's what they're going to say to you. Well, that's easy for them to say. You have no skin in the game. It's not going to work. So, Brandon, try my services. They're free, freewholesaling.com, and prove them wrong. I challenge you to do that. If more of you guys would stand up and do this, the fact that they're hammering you on text and phone calls, they're treating you just like a motivated seller. The reality, guys, it's easier to flip students than it is real estate, and they're all taking advantage of the strategy. There's some legit ones, don't get me wrong. You should make 100K in wholesaling before you employ these coaches. And my favorite one are these people teaching you how to scale your business, and they've only been doing it a couple of years during the most prosperous times in real estate, guys. It won't always be this way, but I don't care. I've been through multiple cycles. I don't like when you wholesale, you don't have to worry how the market is because you're always buying at the lowest price point. So no pressure, man. They don't have an email. So Matt asked a question here. Hey, Rick, I got a question. Working with putting a property under contract, virtual wholesaling, what would be the best way to get a purchase and sales agreement, which is PSA, over to the seller if they don't have an email? Dude, don't overthink this. Just overnight it. You can use the United States Postal Service. I think it's $20 to overnight it, or you can use a FedEx. Sometimes people, they don't have an email. They're typically older and they like it old school. So get the contract and put like the little yellow highlights with the arrows pointing on it, and just overnight that thing and get it done. Hit the tracking button and go from there. So I prefer to do it electronically, but like, do not waste any more time. Get to the post office tomorrow morning when they open and get the fastest way to get it to them and track it. Okay. And then have them call you when they have the contract in front of them, and you can go over it with them. Guys, sometimes technology can be your enemy in this business. The older people, they don't understand it. They don't go online. They don't understand social media, and they are a lot of your customers. So Taryn says, I can find the deals, but it's very difficult to do the contract. I have a disability reading, trying to look for apartment to work with me. So Taryn, you're not the only person that's going to have a disability out there. If you're really good at talking to people, find somebody you can work with to help you put the contracts together, or figure out, like, get a template contract, and then really you're coming down to just price and terms. So that's the only thing you have to look at, and that's the stuff you're filling in. So always reach out for help, but like the hustle, you already have it. The other part, you can get help to figure that stuff out. So if you get a template contract, that should help solve it. So let's see. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for time's sakes because I could go on forever. So Zach will be on live tomorrow night. I'm going to try to join him, but I'm not sure I'm going to be here. And man, we're going to have a killer live tomorrow. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You guys know we post content every day to the Flip with Rick channel. We post it every day. We do the most lives. We're the only free people that actually know what they're doing out there. And we don't have a hidden funnel. Guys, take advantage of it. Do me a favor. Make sure you subscribe. Can you guys give me like 2 thumbs up before we leave here? Because Zach's going to shoot me if I don't get a certain amount of likes. And I've had a lot of fun with this. Take this information on the title company. Use it for your wholesaling company. And don't let any title company take advantage of you. Do your homework before you do business with them. That way, when you do business, you know exactly what to expect to pay, what to expect to get. And it's been my honor to host you guys here for a couple hours here. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. We'll be on live tomorrow. I believe it's 5 o'clock. Zach will be here. You'll all get the notifications. Join us on Facebook. Go to YouTube. Subscribe. Let's keep it going, guys. Awesome that we can partner now and you don't have to pay any coaching fees. So I can't wait to work with you guys. I look forward to it, and I will see you guys in the next live. Thanks.